You've been watching VH100 Broadcast Houston. Come back and see us again.
That's right. I'm Toby, and we're here with Broadcast Houston. Holla at me.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is Broadcast Houston BH100, and we're coming up with another episodic, if that's a word, session. We're going to call this Houston OGs. And I'm blessed to have in front of me two men, you know what I'm saying? I put in all bold caps, men that really poured into me. I'm talking about phone calls, guidance, you know what I'm saying? My mentor, Mobang, and Mr. Deric Muhammad, my brother. I appreciate everything y'all have done, you know what I'm saying, for me. So anything that Broadcast Houston accomplishes in the future, y'all best believe they will get accolades and respect for that. But I was always told people can introduce themselves better than you can. So I'm going to go ahead and let them introduce themselves real quick. Starting on my left, Mr. Deric Muhammad.
Peace and blessings. My name is Brother Deric Muhammad. I'm commonly known as a community activist, but I'm just a servant at heart, and it's an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to once again be on Broadcast Houston.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. I'm Langston Carrier, known also as Mobang Media. I'm also a servant. I'm happy to be here. Shout out to Broadcast Houston. I'm a supporter of Broadcast Houston. I really appreciate what he does in the community, and I'm happy to be here today with Brother Muhammad.
This could have been a big panel, but I'm so glad to start this off with you two. I think it's going to be great. I see y'all dressed up in the suits, suave, debonair. Y'all looking nice, you know what I mean? And I can't wait to get in some of this. We're going to talk about the state of Houston. Of course, Houston is a city, but the state, like presidents give the state, you know, the union address. We kind of want to see from the OGs. Y'all seen it come. Y'all seen people go. Kind of want to get some details, some information, because we have a lot of younger listeners to Broadcast Houston and kind of bridge that gap. A little bit about Nipsey Hussle, you know, the recent passing, what he was trying to do in the community, how that affects Houston, maybe some of the endeavors you all have as well to bridge that gap, and then just kind of see what you all have to say about unity in the city and leading by example. But before we do that, we're going to go on a quick 60-second break. Do not go anywhere, especially if you're doing something in the city. You're going to be blessed. And I know I'm hyping y'all up a whole lot, but I know y'all can deliver what these two men have to say. Give us 60 seconds. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Marcus with Battle Buds Hemp. We carry premium hemp and CBD products, from lotions to tinctures to gummies to muscle rubs. All of these products are designed to be able to help you live a better quality of life. All of our products are made from CBD isolate and will carry 0% THC. No high, but all of the effect of, marijuana. Please check out battlebudshemp.com for more information.
In my 40 plus years in the field of education, never before have I seen a book that bridges the gap between university studies and preparation for the first day of school. The KISS Method is also a great resource for remedial teachers, veteran teachers, and teacher training seminars. For more information, you may contact us at thekissmethods@gmail.com or 713-775-9288.
Whoa, and we're back. Mentor and I'm going to call you my guidance counselor or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Brother Deric Muhammad, Langston Carrier, Mobang Media. It's all over the news. Nipsey Hussle. People are just getting into some of his endeavors. The Dr. CB and the By the Hood and Block Back and just inspiration. I kind of want to know you all's first, where were you when it happened? You know, your first thoughts about it. And is it more of a spiritual thing that happened? You know what I mean? I know some people like comparing this to Jesus, you know what I mean? Or, he took a his death is he's living through other people. You know what I mean?
Right.
And his death actually is helping people more than I guess when he was alive. But that and do you think there's some type of conspiracy going on, or was this just like meant to be? You know what I mean? I'll just let you all go on it. Who wants to start first?
Well, I'll start. Anytime we lose a young king, I think it's devastating. But I look at the light that the situation has brought to a lot of people, and in this day and age, anytime you can have someone that's, if you want to say, that popular, and that people recognize the good that he does and the way that he was doing it, when you want to look at it from an ownership perspective, when you want to look at it from a technology perspective, when you want to look at it from just him being having a mother and a father that taught him, and most of us sometimes don't have that. So it's a reflection that we can take advantage of and see what can happen, when we take advantage of some of these tools that are afforded to us. So that's the good that I see in it. I actually I love it. I think to me he was always the prototypical rapper of today. Meaning, when you want to say like, the best rapper, they have to have all of the stats, all of the qualities.
Yeah.
That's one thing that makes Jay good. It has a lot of different layers. Nipsey had a lot of different layers that we could all, if you weren't already practicing some of the things that he was doing, I think that it's a great thing for anybody to learn to be better, period. Doesn't matter the reason why or how or if you already knew, but the fact that his death caused so many people to want to get their act together or to be bosses or entrepreneurs, that's the biggest blessing.
And not just people, but the hood. I don't hear Chinese people and everything.
He affected. The power of social media and the internet. People used to say the Tupac thing, where he would strike, the roles. But like this is on a whole nother level because of the arms and the reach that it has. And anytime that reach can affect in a good manner, I kind of don't get too technical with it. It's good, period. It's just good. So I leave it at that.
Hate it had to be like it had to be. Brother Muhammad.
Yes, sir. Let me first say that Nipsey Hussle was a very special black man. I heard about his passing the day of. Well, I heard he got shot 6 times. And usually when someone gets shot 6 times on Slauson and Crenshaw, it's not ideal. 9 times out of 10, that person's probably not gonna make it. But the day before Nipsey was murdered, we held our annual Black Male Summit. You were there, my brother.
Yes, sir.
And I was so inspired by Nipsey Hussle, particularly his album, The Marathon, that was literally my entire playlist when I go to the gym. So the day before Nipsey's passing, while on the way to the Black Male Summit, you know how when you on your way to like a game or something where you need to get your adrenaline going, you look at your playlist and you like, okay, what do I want to play to get me in the mode?
Because you were speaking to a lot of young boys as well.
Right. And I had my photographer in the vehicle with me. He can bear witness. We were listening to Nipsey Hussle on the way to the Black Male Summit.
That's big.
That's very big, considering I really don't even listen to rap music like I used to anymore, because for the most part, my level of maturity is not on par with a lot of what the younger rappers are talking about. Right, the message. Right, so I was listening to Nipsey anyway. So to hear that he passed the day after, while we were on this high from having such a successful Black Male Summit, it really, really dealt a serious blow. It was a gut punch to me. But when you look at Nipsey and you go and you gather the bits and pieces of his life, Nipsey Hussle was becoming everything that we in the culture hoped for in an entertainer. He always came with positive energy, and we always complained about rappers coming with negative energy. He owned his masters. We always complain that rappers are in the music business and they care more about the music and not the business. We always complain about entertainers and athletes who come from the hood, but they don't give back to the hood. Nipsey, everything that we've been praying for the past maybe 20, 25 years in an artist, he was becoming that. Now, notice I use the term becoming. See, because we were not only robbed of who Nipsey Hussle was, we were robbed of who he was becoming.
Man.
He was only 33 years old. Imagine what level our brother would have been operating on 10 years from now.
35.
Right, because the brother was moving fast.
Moving very fast.
And at the young age of 33, he accomplished more than most people could accomplish in about 3 lifetimes.
Yeah.
So when they say things like there's a Nipsey Hussle in every city that you're not supporting, I beg to differ with that. There's not a Nipsey Hussle in every city. However, there are those who have the potential to be what that man was becoming in every city. Now, I'm a firm believer that God has the ability to turn chaos into divine order. I believe that with all my heart. And when I saw the way Nipsey Hussle died, it broke my heart. But once we get beyond the emotional part of it, we have to ask ourselves the question, why did God permit it? See, God permits things to happen either by his active will or by his permissive will. So says Minister Farrakhan. His active will means that he causes it. His permissive will means that he may have not caused it, but he permitted it to happen for a greater purpose. And when you look at the course of history, there have been times in history where one life was taken so that millions of others would have a chance to live. So I'm hearing us in the culture talk more about building in our own communities, investing in our own communities. We're talking more about becoming owners instead of employees. We're talking more about putting positive and conscious energy into our music because of the legacy of Nipsey Hussle. So while we're heartbroken that that young man met such a horrific fate at such a young age, you have to be permanently blind if you can't see the greater good that's coming out.
It's almost like it was
of
worth
this
it.
tragedy. Right.
It's like we needed it.
And the reason I'm talking like this on your platform, beloved, is because as a people, we have to begin to mature, to rise above emotion into the thinking of God. Listen, it's okay to be hurt that Nipsey lost his life. I was hurt as well. But how many more Nipseys are going to be born out of the current, out of the energy that has been created by Nipsey's death? At the end of the day, the enemy will not win. And at the end of the day, when you look at the way Nipsey lived his life, he was a man of principle. And men of principle do not die. Their flesh may go back to the earth from whence it came, but the principles that they lived their lives by continued to move forward and forward into the future, even though they're not physically here. And the last thing I'll say about this is, the morning after Nipsey Hussle's death, I was on my way to take my daughter to school. And I looked to my left, and you know what I saw, brother? I saw the sun come up. And it was a reminder to me, I don't care how special you are. When that day comes that you take your last breath, the following morning, the sun is still gonna come up. That clock is gonna still continue to tick like you ain't never been here. So while we have the time to do what the Creator put us on this earth to do, we need to get busy. We need to get at it. We need to be about this marathon for real. And we need to take that piece from Nipsey's life and mash the gas on our dreams.
Act with a sense of urgency.
That's exactly what that brother did. But may God be pleased with our brother Nipsey Hussle. He's gone, but he will never be forgotten.
Okay, very good dialogue. So let's convert this into real terms. And we're in Houston, Texas. So you all have seen the city, you know, from the 90s to the 2000s, you know, the whatever, the Swish House, to the, you know, SUC, to now I guess you're in the Sauce era right now. You all seen them come, you all seen them go. What was missing? What's been missing? What have we done right? What do we need to do in the future? And this is not just music, but this is, I say those entities because they were factions that brought people together. And it was a group of us, you know, striving, you know, together for a common goal, you know, making money and everything like that. And what should we do once we obtain? Because I think I heard a PR or manager say, you know, these artists, they get all this money for a show, like it could be a drug dealer, whoever. Once you get all that money, they don't have the guidance or the leadership to know what to do to, you know, further future generations. What needs to be done? I guess Mobang with the Learn Hip Hop Biz, and like I said, Deric Muhammad is definitely in the community doing things or whatever. So you all probably are mentors to younger men, and you all understand the misconceptions. So what are some of those misconceptions, and how do we break through some of those?
I just think we as a whole, even the older generation, should use what we've learned, use our trial and errors, and uplift each other. I believe in communication. I believe that we all need to be educated on the things that we need as a people to be self-sufficient. You know, we need to learn about real estate. We need to learn that we don't own enough land now as a people. We need to learn certain things about life insurance. We need to learn certain things about owning our own businesses and owning our own intellectual property and owning the things that we need to own, whether it's media-based to tell our own stories, to vouch for us. So outside of being self-sufficient as a people, you know, separation, it's up to every single person to uplift, to educate, to learn. We have to be a community intertwined with one another. We can get deep and, you know, all day long, but the bottom line is we have to want to work with one another. Right. We have to want to uplift our brother. And those of us that know better, we got to understand that the people that know better, it's going to take some work. So we got to learn to communicate and to be the bigger person. We got to learn how to take some of the crap from our people in order to get over to them, to get to the next level. Like the people that know better and do better and are better on our side, that is what we need to do better. We need to be better listeners. We need to be better teachers. We need to be better communicators. Because if we already have the information.
So perfect world, that sounds good, but I mean, I think mid last year was this old Houston versus new Houston. We had some of these people going in on some of the OGs, and the OGs was like, y'all not doing enough. What starts that? What can we do to break that? And I think me and Mr. Muhammad had a dialogue about that, but real quick.
I think that we must adopt an approach of mutual respect. I think there's a scripture that says, old men for counsel and young men for war. I think the objective of that scripture is to say that you need both. Because if you're a warrior, but you don't have wisdom, then you become a crash dummy. But if you have wisdom, but you don't have the energy of the young, then you can't have a revolution. So it starts with us realizing how much we really need each other. It starts with us realizing that just like in the 60s, we had an we all we got mentality. We have to realize that we're still in that same predicament. We all we got. When you look at the rap game in the city in the 80s, those artists in the 80s felt that they were going to be on top forever. Then came the 90s crew. Then came those who were successful in the 2000s. When it's your time, you always feel as if though that time is never going to pass. But then now you're looking at the artists who were on top in the 90s, looking at the youngsters today doing their thing. There has to be a common table that they all sit at, and make a determination of what it is we are going to accomplish collectively for our community and for our city. Yeah, you successful individually. Yeah, you successful individual. You too. But if we all put that individual success together, there's no limit to what we can do for the babies in the hood. And it goes back to the first question and what it appears that Nipsey Hussle was trying to do. If the artists in the city of Houston take some of those principles that he was using to rebuild, not just rebuild South Central, but if you notice in a lot of Nipsey Hussle's videos, he purposely wore the color red, even though he was a Crip. This brother had a long-term plan to unite the nations, to unite the gangs, and bring everybody into one accord. But for what purpose? To build the community. So even though we don't have as much of a blue-red, we got it here in the city, but it's not
North
as...
side, south side.
Yeah, it's north side, south side. We got Crips and Bloods here in the city too, but it's not as generational. It's not as deep into the soil as it is in LA. The point that I'm making is unity is the key to the salvation and the solving of all of our problems. So every artist, if you quote unquote old school artist, whatever that means, then you have to have respect for the young. And if you're a youngster, show respect for those who came before you. If for nothing else, the fact that you were able to learn from their mistakes. And if we sit at a table of mutual respect and we map out a plan with short-term and long-term goals, something we're going to accomplish for the city together, then I think that would be a great start in bridging the gap.
Bridging the gap.
Yeah, like
Well,
y'all got to create something
Well,
together.
it has to, exactly, because it has to be a union. Because when you're talking about the music business, it's like, if I'm my own business, which what the music business is, I mean, I'm not really concerned about, I don't think people realize how many artists it is in Houston. I don't think people realize that there are more independent artists in Houston than any other city in America.
You sell the most of them.
And I'm just being realistic. I have a good grasp on how the independent music game in the city, and in order to make that happen, there has to be some type of union formed, because other than that, it's the wild, wild west. There's no policies and procedures. You know, there's nothing that's going to hold us together.
My question is, does that happen with them uniting, or does there need to be a mediator?
It's never been created.
What does there need to be a mediator? I mean, like realistically.
Realistically, look at what you're saying. You cannot take an individual artist who pay their own taxes, and unless you create a union to where we're all up under the same roof, we all have
So
the
the
same
union is the
opportunity.
mediator, or is the...
Why not? The NFL players have one, the NBA have one, the trash company has one, the lawyers have one, the doctors have one. Goes back to the learn hip hop biz. We're in music business, and this is one of the only industries that these young black men can make $1 million and there's no education. Where can you learn to be an artist and run your music business? You can go learn to drive a car, shoot a gun, cook a hamburger. You see what I'm saying? So once you get the education, now you have to have the union. That's what's missing. A lot of people talk about it, but until we get a union, a hip hop union, where artists can have health care, where artists can have certain things,
Really?
and where you can operate together, then it's the wild, wild west. You can't expect for an individual that's his own business, that's having to fend for himself in this climate. And if you don't understand the numbers and the climate, you have no idea what I'm talking about. So it's tough. But if you create a union, then we'll be able to get with what Brother Muhammad is talking, because what he's saying is correct. What I'm saying is correct. But until you have some type of policy and procedure, I mean, hopefully we do get Nipseys. Hopefully we do get people like Slim Thug that want to build houses, and hopefully you get some of these artists.
Though realistically, it's gonna have to be one or some union respected by both sides, the old and the new.
What else are you? If not, everybody's just talking once again.
Yeah.
Nothing is getting done from a unified perspective.
So who do you in the city think could make something like that or pull something like that off? Does anybody have
It just
the
takes
pull?
anybody that wants to dedicate the time.
But you have to
and
be
the
under
energy.
something. I mean, it has
You have
to be
to dedicate the time and the energy, and you have to have the expertise.
Yeah, and you
It's
have
not
to
an
have
easy
the-
fix. This is not a. This has to be a
Definitely
labor
not.
of love, because
Yeah.
somebody's going to have to take the effort and the energy to stop what they're doing and to start putting in 20, 30, 40 hours a week to build this thing, and go out and get people like this brother, and go out and get some of the artists and start building this community so that you can work as a force together. That's the marathon continues.
Yeah, I think there are two sides to this. There's a business side to it, as in terms of the music business, and then there's a more community.
I think it starts with the
Side
community. I
to
think
it.
the unspoken truth is just the
Well-
black
well-
unity.
well-
Then the business comes.
Right, because if we can't get along, then we're not gonna have much of a union. What the union would be, from my understanding, I don't know a lot about the music business per se, but a union is an organized force that gets things done for its members and for the community. But you have to have people who relate well together. Now, I think it's probably a myth or a misnomer that the current young artists don't get along with the previously established artists.
That's
You
definitely a myth.
Okay, you may have some instances where you see some people get into it, over the internet. I've seen it at times. But for the most part, things, in my opinion, appear to be pretty leveled off.
They
Here
are great.
in the city. I don't know if it's great.
It's great because when you have to
This
look at the numbers.
is why I say I don't know
Right.
if it's great. Just because you and I aren't having conflict, it's always great to not have conflict.
Right.
That's great, all right? Because it ain't no beef. Well, that's good. What's great is when we decide to join forces. When I recognize your value, you recognize my value, and we decide to join forces either against a common enemy, or we decide to join forces to build something that's bigger than the both of us.
Correct.
You understand what I'm saying? That's what it's about. I think not just artists, but entrepreneurs, elected officials, everybody needs to be focused on what are you gonna build that's going to outlive you, because you're not gonna be young and hot forever. The one thing that we can say about our brother Nipsey Hussle, and he's not the only one that we can say this about, he's just front and center right now, but I saw a tweet today from the Marathon store where they were appealing to their customers to please be patient because they received over 2 million orders.
Wow.
And they're working around the clock 12 hours a day to get those orders out. The brother built something that outlived him. Because I'm going to tell you something about time. Time is undefeated. Time is always going to be the winner. You cannot defeat Father Time, but you can outsmart him. The way you outsmart Father Time is to build something that's going to outlive you. Build something that's going to benefit generations on into the future. So these are the conversations that I believe that artists need to be having, and out of that, hopefully an infrastructure can be built like Brother Mobang was describing to us, that they can operate from.
Hey, and all of that's real good, and I'm pretty sure everybody's jaw just dropping a hip hop union. That sounds so good. It sounds real good. You know what I mean? Hopefully, like I've read the J Prince book is right here. It's real nice. Y'all check it out. You know what I'm saying? But he was talking about him and I want to say Irv Gotti and somebody tried to do something, and then they tried to Suge Knight. They tried to stop that, and that was just distribution. But I think, you know, that what you're talking about is great. We got to make this a part 2. 30 minutes is up, but I want each one of you to do. I think you both have businesses, books. You have a brand. Please let them know where they can find what you are trying to accomplish in more depth. Starting to my left, Mr. Muhammad.
Yes, sir. You can follow me on social media at Deric Muhammad. That's at DericMuhammad. And if you follow me on social media, you can you'll find a link to where to purchase my book. The title of my book is called ASAP, A Street Activist Perspective. We're always busy working in the community, and jump on board. But follow me at Deric Muhammad, and thanks again to Broadcast Houston. I'm always enjoying myself on this show, and it's an honor and a pleasure to be with you, my brother.
Thanks for coming out.
If you follow me on social media, everything is Mobang Media. Anything connected to that with the Learn Hip Hop Biz or anything that I'm involved with, you can definitely get from my Instagram page or my Facebook, Mobang Media. And it's just a pleasure to be here. I appreciate Darnell and Broadcast Houston, and I'm glad that he's staying with his nose to the grind for the community. And he has a great media outlet. If you're not familiar with him, I highly suggest that you get yourself familiar with Broadcast Houston. It's certified through Mobang Media. I'm loving the work that this gentleman is always doing. I've been watching him for a while, and I take a great joy in watching him grow. So y'all check out Broadcast Houston.
Far too kind, and both of y'all could have been anywhere. You waited on me for a little while, and I appreciate that. Could have been anywhere in the world, and this was supposed to be. I think, you know, God puts together my panels, and he really stitched this one together. Great ideas. I do want to talk about this again, so we got to do a part 2 with this. This is the H100 Media Run. This is our Houston OG panel. We'll have more, and we'll do a part 2 to this. Definitely want to expound on this hip hop. Hopefully y'all can get together. It seems like, you know, we got the community activists and we got the business mind. Put that together. Maybe we can build this and start it with these two. Once again, BH100 Media Run, BroadcastHouston.com.
Welcome to Broadcast Houston. We are the premier festival, concert, and live event YouTube channel. If you are a lover of music, sports, or the arts, we would love to have you as a subscriber. Drop us a line and let us know which artist or event you would love to see next.